And I'm just going to get right to the questions that I wanted to start. You know how we started this when I first did 5 questions was, how are you getting through 2020? Okay, so this year being that, thank God it's November, because I really want this year to be over too, because I feel like we're still in this weird transition phase. And how has 2021 been different than 2020? And what are you looking forward to in 2022?
Well, um, to start, I'm actually looking forward to in 2022 dating because
I'm thinking
yes,
about that
I,
too.
I told myself at the end of 2020 that I was really going to focus on my goals, getting certain things in order financially, being better with my budget,
Yes.
like really just focusing on certain things that I was neglecting or not really paying that much attention to before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if I'm going to be working exclusively from home, then this is what I need to be doing. This is what my budget is going to be. This is I need to stick to it, be
Mm-hmm.
more disciplined, and really just stick with that. And honestly, I've been blessed beyond what I thought could happen.
Yes.
It started in no was it no, not November. It started in December of 2020.
Okay.
And
Just
I'm not even kidding. Every single month since December of last year, I have been blessed with something like
good.
financial opportunities, like anything.
Good.
Like it has just been like a domino effect every single month, all of 2021.
Blessing upon
And
blessing upon blessing. I love that.
yeah,
Yes,
yes.
I like that.
And I couldn't be more thankful for that because I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it
Look, all
very,
you got
very
to
much.
do is ask. I mean, I'm a spiritual person. I do believe that all you need to do is put it out there. I mean, now we're doing this whole manifesting and everyone's changing the wording, but it's the same idea. If you just ask and put it out there in good favor, it should work out for you. Now, for me, I know the dating thing, as soon as you said that, that really hit me because I've been neglecting that part of myself for more than 10 years. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even consciously. I just think that I knew after I had this rough patch with having to come back home here with my mom, after my whole second apartment, shit just started hitting the fan. And
Right.
I had to kind of go through this weird dormant stage and get my credit back up and get my money together. So it's funny you said dating first because I said next year it sounds about right that is going to be something I'm going to work on top of everything else because for my self-esteem, I know partially that's why I wasn't really doing it because I know part of me didn't feel like, why am I going to go date just to distract myself when I don't even really feel confident enough to date? And then I don't want to date the same type of people that I'm
Right.
always going after.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
have to be mentally ready. And if you're ready, then that's a good sign. So
Yeah.
cheers to that. So that's a good sign in anything. Now, I'm just going to jump to the last one because the last one was my favorite one. As a Black woman, what do you feel is the most common misconception about you? Give any reasons for your answer. And I asked this because I just talked to Shay, my last 5 questions, and I feel like as Black women, we all need to kind of come to the table about, especially in this climate we're dealing with right now, whether we feel neglected as a species, genre, race, specifically to Black women. I feel like we got to work on our unity. We got to work on our trust with each other. We got to work on not just saying we're going to be there for each other, but actually being there for each other. So, what do you feel that people have misconceptions about us as women, Black women?
Um, I feel like a lot of people think that we are this like, and I heard somebody else say this. We're this like always want to be superwoman, like we can do it ourselves. We don't need help, like,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't. Like it literally, like when they say it takes a village to raise a child, like it literally takes a village to do that. It takes a village to keep women afloat. Like it takes a village to just have some sort of like unity with each other. And I feel like a lot of people see Black women because we are doing a lot of things on our own,
Mm-hmm.
that it is something that we choose to do, or that we are just like, no, like like I don't need help. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, it takes a lot for me to ask somebody for help.
Yeah.
Like that's how I've been my entire life. Like
Yes.
if I can't do it by myself or I can't figure out a way to do it by myself, then I will ask for help. But at that point, like anybody who knows me personally knows that once I reach out and I'm like, yo, like, this is what's going on.
Right.
Can you help with X, Y, and Z? Or can you help me figure out what to do in this situation? They know that when it gets to that, it's serious.
Yeah.
Because I've exhausted everything that I could possibly think of to get that situation handled.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I feel like that's like one of the biggest things. Like everybody thinks that we're trying to be Superwoman, and it's like we kind of don't have a choice.
Right.
Because that's just how the cookie crumbles for us sometimes.
I think it gets tossed into too because of physically how we're always conceived as strong. So therefore everything else shouldn't affect us. When I'm like, that has nothing to do with mentally, that has nothing to do with spiritually, that just like when I've had a trainer once in my life, and I remember he just assumed I could just do this real strenuous stretch exercise. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, you think just because I'm thick that I'm just going to be like, just get on down and get my ego on? Are you kidding me?
Like, no.
Yeah. You know, and perception is really the worst thing about it. I think, and especially now that there's the language and the conversation out there is more about like how valuable Black women are as opposed to just how big our butts are or how we come in different shapes, colors, and sizes. Like now you realize that we have companies, you know, we don't depend on the man now. We're actually getting our degrees, you know, we're actually voicing our opinion at work, and abuse that trust. I was just talking to Shay about how sometimes when you work with a lot of coworkers for long periods of time, when I was at my job for 10 plus years, I dealt with a lot of shady stuff, but I also put myself out there to be played. Did you ever feel like even, I don't know if it was a workspace or just friend space, that your trust has been very few and far between now with women amongst each other? Like, and why do we have that? Like, what is that issue? Is that coming from our past, or is that just a woman thing and you just happen to be Black?
Feel like a lot of the time, well, for me personally, like my trust issues came because the people that I was close with or that I dealt with on a daily basis felt like they needed to compete with me.
There you go.
And it's like you don't have to compete with me. Like I'm your friend. Like I'm my job as your friend is to be there to lift you up when you don't feel like yourself, or you know, to be there to just be your hype man, like, and tell you what's up.
Right.
Like a lot of women, especially when it comes to men, feel like they have to outdo you, or you know, like just it's a mess. I suffer from anxiety, and anxiety is developed from constantly worrying about the unknown.
Yep.
So
I'm with you.
For me, I was always trying to think 5 steps ahead of where I was. And I think that's, looking back now, it's like, okay, well, why wasn't I present at this point? You know, because I was thinking of, okay, well, if I have to move, like, where am I going to live? How am I going to get furniture? How am I going to survive by myself? Like, you know, all of this stuff was happening in like a whirlwind. And it was like, I never had a chance to be present in the moment or with certain people. And I think it kind of messed me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was always thinking about the next move.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not the best way to think or the best way to live your life, because you miss out on really great memories if you're not present. So I think that's probably one of my biggest regrets. The other one is trusting light-skinned men. I'm done. I need me a chocolate man with a beard and a job and a degree and who loves kids.
As soon as I air this link, I know about like 5 light skins on Twitter that are gonna have a problem with that statement.
Everybody's gonna have a problem with that statement. They all are. But you know what? It is what it is, because
you know what? You know your preference. It's okay.
Yeah, a lot of my trauma has come from me dealing with, unfortunately, light-skinned men.
Now, if Avante was single and he's light-skinned and he asked you out, would you say no? He's mighty light.
No, I would not say no.
And that's okay, because the same thing with me. Like people just assumed I always just liked white guys, and I don't. Dallas to me, and even Terry will always say, we question whether or not he's all white.
So I feel like everybody questions if he is all the way, like he has to have some kind of sprinkle of something, whether it's Italian or black or Indian, like something.
He's too soulful
in him. Yeah, he's got color in him.
Yeah, because I'm sorry that usually the Midwestern boys, you can kind of tell they just straight up corn fed, but something about Dallas, I'm getting a vibe. But anyway, but yeah, you're right. If you have a preference, you have a preference. I know I was always teased about people assumed I didn't like black men at all. I do, but I did have a tendency to lean towards a light skin. But if it was dark skin, I've dated an African guy briefly, and that was only because he was a friend of a friend who I worked with, and he didn't treat me the best way. But at the same time, I thought he always smelled good. He always had no problem hanging out. I love the way he talked. He was very, very formal. But again, like you said, it's just preference, history, maybe. You don't know, because I mean, just like Chris Rock says, you could go home with everything you think you don't want, and that could be the person who could seal the deal for you. You just never know. Number 2 was, with all the recent political BS that's out there, what is the one wish you would want for this country? I don't know if I worded that right. You would want to see for the country to come true. So if considering everything we've been going through, now that we're in a different regime, but probably most would argue would say it's not too much different, just maybe not as overtly ignorant as far as what they're trying to perceive. But what would be your wish, I guess, if you had a choice, if you had a chance?
My wish would be for people to, or for people to stop thinking that they have some kind of input on what I do with my body, with my type of healthcare, like anything.
Yeah.
When you start dictating what people can and cannot do within their own body, that becomes a problem.
Right.
It becomes a huge problem. And I'm sure you've seen the reports, the laws that passed in Texas where women are not allowed to have abortions after 6 weeks or something like that. And it's like a lot of women don't even know that they're pregnant until after 6 weeks.
Right.
Unless you know, like literally the date that you had the unprotected sex. Two or 3 weeks later, you miss your period, and then at that point you kind of know.
Right.
Yes.
We didn't do our centers today.
Okay, you'll do centers tomorrow.
But mommy, tomorrow I think we're not gonna have it.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Did you finish your cake? Go finish your cake.
I did.
Okay, then go get your plate and put it in trash.
I want some more.
Just like like every girl, we all want more, Ryleigh. We all want more, sweetie.
More.
But yeah, you're right. That's obviously going to be a problem, because that's a message that's out there a little bit too. It's like, we go back to 1960 something, because last time I checked it was 2021. Freak.
Yeah, and I'll be damned if somebody tells me that I like.
Oh.
Uh-oh, did she spill?
I'll be damned if somebody tells me that.
No.
I can't do what I want to do with my body because I'm not ready to provide for another child by myself. Like, are you kidding? No, absolutely not.
I don't like somebody that doesn't hold babies to tell me that. I mean, let's just go there. I mean, that's just really the bottom line.
Yeah.
End of conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I had a kid, or I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. And it's like, but do you see what the reality is behind that?
Right.
I feel like a lot of people think that, having a kid and raising a kid is this like
Mommy, can I have some more?
peaches and cream, rainbows, daisies, all of that stuff. And it's not. It's literally the exact opposite of that.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah. And if you don't have the choice to get out of something like that, then that's a problem. You don't want 16-year-olds who are, abused by family members and end up pregnant to have to keep a baby. Like that is wrong on so many different levels that it makes no sense.
And you don't want to see that person's face in your child. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Because people don't realize, like, DNA is strong. You don't know. I mean, a baby you could be blessed and look out and look just like you. That'd be great. But you still have to at some point explain how they came to be, because at some point every child is going to want to go back to how things started. and you have to explain that as the parent. You know what I mean? So you're right. I mean, long story short, that is basically the main thing I was hoping you would say anyway, because I think that's honestly been, and I hate that they're using it as a strategy as opposed to just saying maybe this is something we need to tackle now and just be one and done with it, because we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg for a reason, and you have women out there today that are still going through these situations and getting these backyard situations, and it's like you don't want to even have to deal with that in 2021. We got all this, they passing this infrastructure bill, right? So you're saying that at some point we still got to resort to doing the stuff that women had to do when they weren't ready. You know what I mean? Like that's sad. That's sad as a country that we're going back to this basement type of thinking because we want to save a vote, or we don't want a certain party to win over another party. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't even have anything to do with the one who's carrying it. That's what makes me mad.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just to win a vote, and that stuff is bull to me.
Yeah. And the fact that these are 80-year-old white men telling us what we can and cannot do with our bodies is beyond me. Like all of them can go. I highly doubt that you saw one woman, no matter what color she was, one woman vote in favor of that. There's no way. There's no way, because if that was her daughter, her niece, her granddaughter.
But there are some women that still are brainwashed, the same ones that were brainwashed against when Hillary, was running, and decide that that's just the best way, and they just don't have a brain on their own. Like those are the type of women, unfortunately, the few that are in there are the ones that are leading this charge, and that's really pathetic.
Yeah,
it's some bull. Like it's just sad to me in general. Like you're right, we're at a point now where people have to stop deciding that your issue is bothering me instead of the environment, or instead of I want to be able to feel like I can vote without someone breathing down my neck. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that affects me 5-10 years from now is what y'all should be worrying about now. You shouldn't be worrying about who I'm having sex with, if I decide to serve in the military, when I decide to pay for money to get a sex change. That's all my business. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we got to the point where people have decided they're so distracted with so much information that now they're losing focus. So now it's an issue of power. It has nothing even to do with whether it's right, logical, or ill-advised. So yeah, I'm at this point, I agree with you with that. And I think for the sake of us, just as you, like you said, even if you're not into politics, it's kind of hard to really not pay attention to what's going on out there right now, because the messaging is coming out in little ways that, now you're looking at celebrities different. Even if you didn't care about celebrities, athletes, that stuff is starting to cross. So it's kind of hard not to feel some type of way, especially when we're in the middle of still these, vaccine deniers, and now with that whole thing with Aaron Rodgers blew up, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I swept Aaron Rodgers under a rug for right now, because I'm just like, I
can't either. It's sad to me. Like I'm with Stephen A. Smith on that. I'm like, you just look dumb, bro. Like real dumb.
You came out and you said, oh, I'm what did he say he was?
Immunized.
You're either vaccinated or you're not. Like there's no immunization to this. Like,
why are you making it harder is what I want to know. And again, we're going back to the idea, you want to know more than somebody else. That's all that really is. That's ego.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no, this has been the year where the athlete couldn't have looked more uneducated than they do this year. You know what I mean? I'd rather you just blatantly come out and say, I don't like needles. Because then I'd be like, you know what? I understand.
Because that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah.
But then it's like, they're like, oh, well, I don't want to put foreign things in my body. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But, you still take protein powder. Some people don't know what the ingredients are in protein powder. You are taking cortisone shots for, injuries
allergies or whatever.
And being hurt. You're doing all of these other things. And it's like, to me, the COVID-19 thing is like an exaggerated form of the flu.
Yeah.
But you still go get a flu shot, right?
I'm just saying. And even if you didn't before, you telling me that as a kid, you didn't have to ever get vaccinated at some point? Because I remember going through all them set of shots as a kid. I may not remember what age I was, but the fact that you can tell me you never went through a period when you were in school?
No way. There's
Where?
no way.
Yeah,
There's no way.
we had to.
They would still be preaching that same thing as an adult as they did to get them out of those shots as a child.
Right.
Because there's only certain things that you can say or present to get you out of those types of immunizations.
Yeah.
At this point, as an adult, as a 30, 35-year-old adult, you can't sit there and tell me, oh, I don't know what the ingredients are in this vaccine, so I don't want to take it.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah.
You were probably getting flu shots 4 years ago. So what are you talking about?
And then even the alternative stuff. Yeah. Even the alternative stuff, like really, you had to research to do that. So you somehow skipped over the COVID stuff to look at the alternative theory stuff. Come on, dude. Like seriously, you can Google this crap now. Like it's not a secret.
Like it is what it is. Go to Wikipedia. Talk to Dr. Fauci in person. Like what else do you want?
I mean,
what else do you want?
He was in quarantine talking to everybody like they were just taking Instagram calls left and right. He was just picking up, hello, don't talk to you, hello. So yeah, please. And you got more privilege because of who you are as Aaron Rodgers. And then on top of that, your crusty butt almost got kicked off the team anyway because you had an attitude about how the team was going. So now you're gonna sit here and abuse your privilege, by not just being a team player, knowing damn well the reason why you didn't play is the very reason why everybody's mad at you, because you done took out 2 of your big players and you almost lost that damn game 2 weeks ago. So now this brother got to go out Jordan Love and look like an asshole by himself because he wasn't ready, clearly.
Right.
But I wanted him to kick ass just for the sake of it, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I just, I can't stand it. And all that kind of messaging again goes back to privilege and people not understanding that there is no exception, because everybody, Kyrie, all these people, anti-vax people are saying the same crap. They basically don't trust what is putting out there with science. Okay, but you got tattoos. Okay, but y'all do some coke. Okay, like, come on.
But you go to alcohol.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like you're doing all of these things. You don't know every single ingredient of every single thing that you put inside of your body. Right. You don't. It's impossible to know that. And to have it at the drop of a dime, no. Nobody's going to. I trust the scientists that are made and have gone through the schooling to do this.
Yeah.
I trust that. My daughter's doctor's office just opened the 5 to 11 vaccination clinic. She's going, if I can make an appointment next week, she's going next week.
Yeah.
Here's what it is.
I know. I'm about to get my booster at the end of this month. And before that, I got my flu shot. So it's like, I feel like I could glow in the dark with as many times as I've gotten needles.
Right.
But I don't care. Like a sore arm and a little fuzzy head is not going to make me not want to trust in science. I'm sorry. Because like you said, people get degrees for this stuff. One of the people that made the vaccine was a Black woman. Like all the more reason for me to feel like I'm going to feel a little safer if somebody's going out there with my name on that stuff. I'm going to make sure it's right, And I'm sorry, like, even if you aren't into this, it's just at the end of the day, this whole year has been about how we were going to respond for 2020. So if you're still sitting there, even after quarantine, after people are just now allowed to fly from overseas over here now, if they're vaccinated, and you still want to make this whole stink up about it, then you're just a miserable person. I'm sorry. If you have previous health conditions, I totally get it. Like there's tons of people out here that cannot take that. I understand.
If you have pre-existing health conditions, I understand your reservations on getting certain things. I get it. Understand 100%, make your choice.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But if you have no underlying health conditions and you, like I said, you've gotten the flu shot 4 years ago, and you're sitting here telling me, oh, I don't know if I trust this vaccine that they came up with in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
People were literally dying from this. So they had to come up with something that could combat what was happening with this virus.
Yeah. And it's something you can't see. So it's not one of these things you can all I just know if you find next week and the other day you on a freaking ventilator, there's something out there. Okay. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, there's so many people that sit here that are deniers and they're in the hospital, like literally as we speak. The girl that played Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she's in the hospital. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everybody who was so strong about it is either sick or dead. So, okay. I'm done with the subject, but I just had to bring it up. But anyway, all right. So Okay, so since I asked you about the Vontae question, I wanted to throw out there just for your birthday, because I'm like, look, if you got birthday wishes, there's always some guys that you think about. At first, I was going to make it like 3 people you want to interview for your podcast, but then I said, no, it's her birthday. Let's be real. If you want somebody to take you out, name 3 men who you would love to take you out to dinner. They don't have to all be athletes, obviously, but, you know, lay it on a sister, just for shits and giggles.
So I was thinking about this earlier. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do like my like high hopes where it's like, oh, if somebody, you know, comes
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, all right, you know, I'll reach out to her. I'll take her to dinner. No big deal. And then I was like, you know, more realistic people. Like, I don't know if I want to do the more realistic people because it's like, I really may have a shot here.
You don't want to stir any nervous energy.
Yeah, I shot my shot a little bit, you know, this past week. So, you know, what, you know, prayers up for your girl. But
why not?
My high hopes, and it's probably never gonna happen, but I would say Devin Booker.
Oh, yeah.
With the Phoenix Suns, yes.
Yeah. I have another type of appreciation for him now, actually, after last year. Yeah.
Yes, that is that's a beautiful
dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Devin Booker, I've had an obsession with Jimmy Garoppolo for quite some time.
I mean,
he's also a Scorpio, so that makes my heart happy.
That makes sense though now, because him and Zach Ertz are Scorpios. I'm like, Scorpios have a look about them. Wow. Anyway, go ahead.
We do. We listen.
Look, y'all are strong.
We are a problem. Okay,
you are a strong case.
Here's the fire if you can't take it. Okay.
Woo! Jesus.
Because listen, we that like that emoji of the guy walking in flames. Like, yes, that is us all the time. That is us all the time.
Tail.
So if you can't handle the fire, don't come over here, baby. Don't do it
here. Right.
Don't do it. So Devin Booker, Jimmy Garoppolo, and of course I'm a homer and my hopes are high, but it's probably very slim. Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah,
I
wear a suit. That brother. And I'm late to the party with him because, you know, I was still mourning Wentz leaving, but now I look at him, I'm like, you know what? Something about him.
And you know what's crazy? You don't really find a lot of men who can really wear a suit.
Right. This is true.
And I feel like he is one of those men that can, like, doesn't matter what color. You saw him in a banana yellow. Banana yellow. Good. And it was a 3-piece suit. Like, that wasn't like jacket and pants. That was a jacket, a vest, pants. You listen.
He was ultimate coordinating that day.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Good though. Yeah. I can't even lie. He looked really good. Yeah.
Give me a man that can wear a suit.
Yeah.
And I will be in heaven. I will be in heaven. Because I used to work at a men's suit store.
Oh, so you know. Yeah.
So
you know.
Listen, playing dress up. That is my thing.
That's around you be like, now if I want a guy to wear that. You know,
that's how I was dressing the mannequins in the store.
Well,
how I wanted my men to look like.
Yeah.
Pocket square and everything. Okay. I know how to tie a bow tie. I know how to tie a right. All of it. Okay. Gift. I know how to coordinate. I know how to measure a waistline. I know how to do that. I know how to do all of that.
Breezy said, let me hook you up, boo.
I was having men walking out of that store with velvet sports coats. Okay?
With some
velvet. Velvet is hot. Okay. Yeah. Velvet sports coats for New Year's.
Oh. Yeah, no, it is actually. I believe it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, yeah. I agree. I think he would be very romantic, honestly. Like, no bullshit. Like, I feel like Jalen is who he is. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel there's any pretense.
You don't like to lose? We winning over here, baby. Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, we winning every damn week.
Yes. You don't gotta win on the football field, but we winning over here.
I'm saying, you know, we can take that out of the common denomination here. No, with this degree, girl. So what you plan on doing once you get your master's? What's your goal? One more question, Ryleigh, and then you got mommy all to yourself. One more question. Okay, one more.
So I think I've struggled with trying to figure out what my purpose is on this earth. And it's
Like me.
yes, and it's one of the reasons why I went to school, because I'm like, I enjoy helping people. I enjoy trying to figure certain things out.
Mhm.
And which is why I got my degree in psychology. But I do want to go down the road of counseling and therapy and things like that, because I feel like there are a lot of people, because of this pandemic, that need help.
Yeah.
And it's not just like men or women or athletes, and it's regular people, it's kids, it's everyone.
Yeah.
And a
Especially
lot of
after this year.
people, yeah, a lot of people are just now figuring out that they have triggers because of certain events that have happened.
Yeah.
And obviously someone who suffers from anxiety, I've had my share of depression and
Mhm.
things like that. I think it's very beneficial for me to help someone else get through those stages, because I didn't always have someone that understood where I was coming from.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of times it was like, oh, well, you take a break, take a day
Yeah.
off of work and things like that. And it's like, no, it's
It doesn't
deeper
go
than
away. Yeah.
not. It's not something that a day off of work is just gonna fix.
Right.
I started noticing that on the weekends I was not wanting to get out of bed.
Mhm.
I was, seasonal depression is very real.
Yep.
A lot of people are affected by it right now
Yep.
because of the change of the season. And with now getting dark at 4 o'clock, it's like,
I
you
know.
know, it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot. But my personality, I'm very empathetic. It's very easy for me to put myself in somebody else's shoes.
Mhm.
And to see something from outside of the box, it is very easy for me to do.
Yeah.
So getting the medical or clinical training to perfect that is something that I want to pursue. So anything within counseling, therapy, anything like that, that's what I want to do, because I want to be able to help somebody.
And you never
And
know, you may fall into the sports world with it, because at this point, I think that they all should really make that mandatory to include some kind of therapy, because obviously some of these athletes use the sport as a therapy for them to deal with whatever aggressions they have,
yeah,
And I think honestly, after this year, that might be something that they might want to stress with mental health, because I know they've been pushing this whole thing with with race or whatever, and like domestic abuse and all this other and autism and stuff. But I really feel like the wellness mental health aspect, especially within the people of color community and Black folk, especially because we always were taught not to talk about stuff.
yeah,
And
that's how my family is. That's how
yeah,
exactly my
same.
family. It's very sugar coated. It's very, if you have an issue, like, don't talk about it, kind of
Yep.
thing. And it's like, but you can't, you can't survive in an environment like that.
No, it's
You
not
can't.
normal, because it's going to
It-
pop up
it's
in weird places.
impossible. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's impossible to survive with that kind of energy around you. And it goes back to what Lane Johnson said.
Yeah.
If you find somebody that you can trust, go to that person.
Right.
And it just,
And if you put the need out there and the feelers out there, through that person will hopefully lead you to somebody who's a professional. Because honestly, yeah, you also, I know with my bestie, same thing. Like, she was coming from a bunch of therapy. I was intimidated by the idea of therapy because I thought that was weakness. But it got to the point where I did have a lot of emotional breakdowns in my early 20s that I didn't understand why. And I didn't understand where the depression came from. So like 20 something, maybe less than 20 something years later, it's like, I'm thankful that I still have a therapist now.
Yeah.
Who I actually found from Black girls, what is it? Black therapy for no therapy for blackgirls.com. And that's how I found her locally. And so there's no shame in it. Honestly, I mean, if it took the pandemic for people to realize that they might have some PTSD or they might have some triggers that they didn't want to talk about, and then there's players out there now that are trying to shame other players for talking, it's like, you should be thankful that we have social media just for that. Because even if you don't want to be the type of person to actually make an announcement, it's helpful in the long run, because you're helping other people that don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you'll be contributing to that community. So that's a blessing in itself. So I drank all my wine, but cheers to that.
I got a little bit left, and then
I
I'm
know.
opening up
Look, I was sipping too
second
quick.
bottle.
I had
Listen.
sangria, and I was like, "This mean Moscato."
This
Yes. Okay. Let's just. Yeah, you need a sponsor for Sports and Stilettos. Moscato.
this is literally the best red wine on the planet. I don't care what nobody says. This right here, and it took me 10 minutes in the liquor store to find it because they put it on the bottom shelf.
Oh God.
I don't even know. Like, I was like, where is this bottle of wine? And
I had a coworker turn me on to that too. I love that.
the guy was like, oh, it's on the bottom shelf. And I was like, but it was up, like the last time that I came here, it was up, by Stella Rose. And he was like, oh yeah, like some companies like will pay for their brand to be on the top shelf, eye level and all of that. And I was like,
please.
Like, well, what are they doing?
I know. I was thankful when Acme started selling wine because I'm like, yo, that was my brand if I didn't have it for the week for work. So if it was on sale for $8.99 at Fine Wine and Spirits, it was in my bag. Sorry.
Yep. And I got 2 of them. And then I got some hard stuff.
So next up for sports and stilettos, shout out to Riscato. So we might, I might just chop this in half and just do that.
Riscato, Patron, or Red Bull need to sponsor me. One of those 3.
Say it again.
Sponsor me
one more time.
I'm tired of buying. I'm tired of spending my money. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired of it. I'm sick.
Wait. This podcast is brought to you by, say the brands.
Riscato wine, Red Bull, and Patron tequila. There we go.
Yeah.
Manifesting.
Insert logo here. I'm not good with. I might have to hit Gail from Before the Dawn and be like, can you just like put a little right there?
Right.
But no, girl, I'm glad we got to chat and catch up. I don't want to take you too long from your birthday. Enjoy the rest of the evening, but
girl, I'm gonna be doing just this for the rest of the night. Sixers come on.
Yes,
they might
probably
be
on now. Yeah, we don't talk through. Yeah, I know they're on, but yes, I'll be watching too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing my little sports betting because college basketball is back.
No, I know. I heard. I just heard today. Everybody was like, didn't it just end? But I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
It did like 2 months ago.
Literally 2-3 weeks ago.
NBA. I was like, yeah, this shit just ended. Like, why are they back again?
I was like, Chicago Sky just won. What y'all doing?
Right. Like, I didn't even get to enjoy like an NFL game. Like, and here comes the damn NBA.
COVID done made everything so close. You just forgot. I'm like, now we can't complain like we don't got sports anymore because everything is round the clock.
No, but listen, once it's only baseball, then I have a problem.
Yeah, this is true.
So that like month and a half
that drought. Yep.
Like, ew. Like
them 2 to 3 months, I'll be sitting there going, it's only
like,
March.
Okay, do I have to watch the Phillies? Like, I don't really want to do this, but I need like my sports fix. Like,
I know. You ain't never lied because I never was so itchy until this year because I think I was so sure that Carson was going to come back. And then when that whole thing changed, I said, the whole, like, April was horrible because I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Ertz left and I was like, that's a whole nother pod.
Yeah, what a whirlwind.
Oh, and him and his fine ass James Conner on the Arizona. Don't get me started.
That's who I forgot. James Conner.
Okay.
That man, listen.
Honorable mention.
He could get it any day of the week. Whenever, however, I don't even care. I will listen. I will drop her off somewhere. I really will.
His Airbnb appointment.
I will fly to Arizona. Okay, I will do it.
Look,
I will do it.
Like, it's the dry heat.
Are cheap. They are cheap. Okay, I got Listen,
Southwest.
I fly Southwest.
I'm saying
Southwest. Those flights to Arizona are very cheap. They're very cheap. So,
girl, I ain't got no problem with it. And we could find an Airbnb. You could find some kind of cute little just for the weekend, please. I require no special priorities.
None at all.
Tell me what time, what I gotta wear, and I'm there.
I will be there for 36 hours. I don't care. I don't care.
And I'd take a red eye back home if I had to, and I wouldn't tell a soul. I'd be like, y'all ain't gonna know crap.
Yep.
Yeah, James Conner. Woo, Jesus. That's a beautiful man. Anyway, all right. We're going to have to make a list because I'm telling you, I told you last time I wanted you to get on my podcast with Birds of a Feather because I wanted you to do like our top like hot NFL players. But then I was like, maybe it should just be tight ends because I have a thing with tight ends. So maybe it should just be a tight end list. But
listen, football players in general, because they carry they have weight to them.
yes,
like I love me a husky,
yeah.
tall husky. Give me somebody that's like 6'4" to like
Yeah.
6'6", like
Mhm.
220.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And then just the right kind of like there's that slope that they have with the butt that's just enough. Not enough to make you sit there and go, wait, what's going on here? But enough to be like, yeah, you know. I mean, they got to fit with us in our sundresses. So
I'm one of those people that like, it's probably very weird, but whatever. I'm one of those people that like grabs butt. So like if my dude has a fatty, like I'm not even kidding. Like I will, he could be doing anything. He could be in the kitchen washing dishes.
yeah,
I will walk up and I will grab. Like that's
it's hard not to. I understand why they do it with us, but
how I am. Like
yeah.
it is what it is.
I'm not big on PDA, but at the same time, it's like if we're alone, like I may get a little grabby. You know what I mean? Like I think that the gray sweatpants season, first of all, I feel like has disappointed me already. I have tried to make the hashtag like hinting, and ain't no brother put it out there yet. I am disappointed.